Well, you know, Chris, I'm going to be almost 80. I've probably been to 50 different countries. I've been to goat ropings, Mazola parties, and God knows what not. I've never seen anything like today. You got a candidate for president of the United States fantasizing about publicly about Nancy Pelosi and Taylor Swift, and then he calls the host convention city a horrible place. By the way, I'll make one point. The crime rate in the United States might be dropping as fast as the inflation rate. The crime and murder rate in Milwaukee is down 40%. The first quarter of this year had the biggest crime rate drop, it may be almost in history. So there's one America that people are talking about. There's another America that people are living in. And the America that people are living in has dropping inflation and dropping crime by a lot.
You know, I know the frustration. I hear it from you. I hear it from my brother. I hear it from other Democrats that you're losing a messaging battle, not a reality battle. So what do you do about it? They're united, and they don't care what their candidate says or does. How do you counter?
The flat earth people have a simple message. It's just wrong. And we've got a ways to go in this campaign. And I think the hope is, as this recovery continues, which shows every sign of doing, that attitudes will be better. And then when people are reminded of the disaster that the Trump administration was, the COVID response was just unbelievably horrible, accumulated 25% of the entire debt of the United States since it was founded. I love when these guys are all concerned about debt now, when they just pile debt on top of debt on top of debt. And I think that hopefully the president, Democrats, will sharpen this into focus and talking about not extending these tax cuts for people making over $400,000 a year, giving some home buyers some relief, raising the minimum wage to $16.50 an hour or whatever you want, give America a raise. And I think, you know, and the other thing is, I got news for everybody. Democrats are not losing elections anywhere. We haven't lost an election since Dobbs. There was an election in Ohio last night. The Republicans were supposed to win by 30. They won by 10. So somebody needs to get an abacus or a calculator and start counting out there, because there's this view about the Democratic Party falling off a cliff, and we keep winning elections. Well, as Rabbi's been saying for 5,000 years, go figure.
So, look, here becomes the context. Are you winning because of the messaging or despite it? And you have a very interesting idea. You say, hey, they want to play crime. Let's play crime. And you have a strategy, or really a tactical idea about how to do it. Tell the audience.
Right. I think that Vice President Harris, who is the most predictable politician I've ever seen, should go to Phoenix, announce a speech, and let everybody show up thinking it's going to be about the border, about abortion or something else, and congratulate the police, men and women around the United States, and the courts and the juries for doing a staggeringly good job of bringing this crime rate down. We hope to continue to do that. Our streets are getting safer. Our cities like Milwaukee are certainly getting safer, and New York, by the way, where you are, is a low-crime jurisdiction. But you're right. It was a message problem. We need to tell people these things in a dramatic, memorable fashion. And I hope that the vice president does something like this and does something not so predictable, and I think she could turn things around. And I think the president needs to talk about ethics in the Supreme Court. I think that's something that's a huge issue. The corruption on the Supreme Court is really starting to get to people. There's another story today about even more corruption. So I think, but we do have a little bit of a message problem. I'll agree with you on that, Chris. And I bet your brother agrees with me.
He does too much. Makes me crazy. But the point is this, James, that the ethics. Look, I mean, you have stuff to work with. Okay, you have the party and really the Trump movement that is all about the deep state and corruption. We then see that you need reform at the Supreme Court so that these justices are more transparent about what they're about and why they're deciding the way they do. And the Republicans are against it. So you have things to use against them, but you have to have the right messenger, and you have to do it. You suggest VP Harris, but isn't she the Achilles heel, other than Biden's perceived health, that people are going to say, Harris, she's why I won't vote for Biden. I don't want her as president.
Well, First of all, I think if she came out and did some different things, that people would have a better opinion of. But this is who we got running. Like, I didn't think that Biden running for re-election was the niftiest idea I've ever heard, but he's running and the Republicans at risk, and I'm going to keep throwing stuff out. But I basically agree that our message needs to be sharper, our contrasts need to be sharper, and people's memory needs to be activated here as to what was really like it. But I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I think America's a much better place than we're being told.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.